Attenzione, iniziando il Joe and Brian Show.
Let's run through all the match week results for this week because this week was weird. This was the week of the 1-0s. 1-0s were very important for a lot of teams here.
Yeah, I mean, the big three played midweek, so they were tired, some sluggish results. But, I'm just happy that we didn't drop points.
Yeah, so Inter win away from home against Udine 1-0. Napoli win at home 1-0 against Sassuolo. Juve lose 1-0 against Cagliari. And then Milan win 1-0 against Lecce. So those big three chasing the scudetto, 1-0 wins, just barely getting through. Juve proving that they're bums, and then Roma beating some relegation bums called Torino. So I'm not really worried about that. But also, really quickly want to mention Fiorentina officially out of the relegation zone. Guys, let's cheer it up.
Well, hold on. Before we cheer it up, we should somber it down. Rest in peace to Rocco Camiso. I think that needs to be said before we even get into this episode.
Very unfortunate news. If you guys have not heard, Fiorentina have lost another owner. If you've been watching Serie this weekend, you'll notice they gave a minute or so of silence before each game in commemoration of Rocco. So to the Fiorentina fans, our condolences for your loss, and hopefully it's only better days going forward. Let's start off on the lighter note. Joe, tell us about this Inter game. What happened? Because it was 1-0. You guys barely won.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 9 a.m., boys. You're right. You know how those games go. You're barely awake, maybe you had a little too much fun on the prior, Saturday or whatever. Either way, you wake up to watch Inter, and in my experience, I fell back asleep. So this is my second game or third game in a row I haven't caught live, which is weird. And it affects my opinions on the game. But honestly, Toro gets the winner, Pio with the assist. It's as simple as that. We didn't do enough. We did not do enough. There was some rotation, which is fine. We have Arsenal. That's the talking point. This is all just, I just hope we don't get embarrassed. I just don't want that to happen.
Are you feeling scared? You feeling nervous? You think you might fumble the scudetto again?
No, nothing to do about scudetto. Honestly, the Champions League is kind of where my head's at this exact moment, because just looking...
Yeah, forget about it. Forget about it. You're not winning it. Just forget about it.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Napoli are still on your ass. Napoli are still trying to prove that they are Scudetto challengers, and I believe them all the way. They got a 1-0 win against Sassuolo. This game sucked. The Vodka scored in the 7th minute, and then nothing happened after. I mean, Napoli didn't even look in control. They barely had possession. They were barely creating. 0 big chances created by Napoli. Bums, but they get the win at the end of the day. Like Inter, they get the points. They're so important for the Scudetto race, but wasn't pretty. Was not pretty.
No, and once again, there's not even much to say about the Inter game, and there's not much to say about that game either. These happen when you're having these tight, congested schedules, and honestly, this weekend it's going to be the same exact situation because like I said, there's the midweek competition, so. Yeah, but I think, honestly, we should take this very special opportunity to shit on Juventus.
Oh, yeah. It's got to them. It looks like all this rotation and extra midweek games have finally gotten to them because they dropped points against Cagliari, which, tough team.
We've talked
away
about
from
that
home,
island.
especially.
We've talked about that island before. It's just not.
It ain't easy.
Not easy being there. You know what's actually funny? Yildiz is probably their only good player.
I'd argue Yildiz and McKennie, because McKennie can low-key play anywhere.
What is this American bias propaganda nonsense? Are you one of these McKennie defenders?
McKennie has been here through like 8 different managers, has played with all the managers, and has like low-key started in just about every position because he can fill that role. He's just good enough to do that.
He is he's the Darmian, but of the midfield.
Better than Darmian.
Matteo has this place in my heart, but no, seriously, Weston, he's very versatile, and I think he is a good asset to have on a team. But as an individual player, he does not excite me or thrill me in any sort of way. Like, now, let me ask you this: like, wouldn't it be better to have Conceição like on the right? Like, I don't know, am I crazy?
Sure, but there's a reason Spalletti was like, fuck that.
Yeah, and it cost them.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Maybe
Honestly, I
maybe
probably
you know
don't need to
more.
be hating on Spalletti as much as I have been, but I really just have lost so much respect for him after this whole like Italy disaster, and he's gonna have to prove it to me. That's the honest truth.
And then to wrap up that last 1-0 win of the week that we won't talk about very much, it's that Milan Lecce game. I thought it was cooked. I thought Scudetto was over. I
I
thought
was
Milan
excited.
fumbled. But Fulkrug comes off the bench and scores. Maybe the lamppost might be the answer, Joe. I mean, he might be the answer. He might be the solution to all our problems.
I mean, listen, just having a striker is a really cool thing that your team hasn't wanted to do yet this season. So I think it can only benefit you to have him, but he isn't that prolific, and I don't
Hey.
expect him to be that good.
Scoring
Well, I
against
don't know.
Lecce.
Yeah,
Tough
but you know what
team.
it is.
Tough
Here's
team.
here's the hard part, right? Like, what do? You're building your attack around a 32-year-old, right? Like, we're just doing the
okay,
Giroud thing.
come
We're
on.
just back
Come
to the
on.
Giroud thing.
That's Inter's whole model. I could name 35.
Not anymore.
Like,
Since we've been sold, we have a completely different mindset.
okay, hold on. You have Chala. You have Mkhitaryan. I mean, you had Taremi. You had Arnautovic. I mean, you had a bunch of
We're talking about this season.
bums.
We're talking about this
You-
season where you're currently behind Inter in the table, where I have to remind you of that.
Close, barely. We're close. Be scared. I can't wait for that Milan derby. Oh, that's gonna be so
Because
good.
you know what it is. We're gonna lose it, but we're just gonna beat Lecce. You know, we're just gonna beat Parma, and we'll win the Scudetto.
I'm gonna tell you something. All right,
Tell.
Napoli is gonna be on your ass at the end of the season. Milan will have faltered behind, dropped to third place by some tragedy. You know, some tragedy, like Rabiot got the flu or something real bad for the team.
What? Like the flu? You're telling me you're one sneeze away from disaster?
Yo, we are one sneeze away, and the whole team is done for. The whole season's cooked. But let me tell you something. Inter are going to start dropping points once that pressure starts to get to them at the end of the season. Chivu
What
won't
pressure?
be able to...
Who's gonna pressure us? Udine?
Napoli! Conte. Who else would it be? It's Conte. Conte's going to be on your ass, breathing
You
down your
have
neck.
to look at it this way, head to head. If we're talking just strictly head to head here, okay? We've already dealt with Napoli this season. Thank God. They can't take any more points from us. And that's a beautiful thing. We still have to play Juve, and we still have to play Milan. Roma is guaranteed points. Lazio is guaranteed points. Bologna in the league is guaranteed points. I'm not scared. I'm just not scared.
All right, enjoy the delusion, because I can't wait to come back at the end of the season. When we look back at what you just said right now, and then it turns out you did, in fact, lose or drop points to all of those teams. And I'll be here, ready,
We are going
drinking
to
your
lose.
tears.
I'm telling you. We're going to lose all the big teams, but we are not going to drop points against the small teams. It just won't happen.
Sto Napoli Scudetto. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that wraps up this week of Serie A. Not the most exciting week, but a lot did happen, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this week. Joe, any final comments to the audience?
Thank you for watching, everybody. Keep commenting. We need to hear from you all. Tell us if we said something completely outrageous. We probably did. You know, feel free to call us out on it. We'll argue with you in the comments.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching another episode of the Joe and Brian Show, Serie A Match Week 21. I'll see you next week for Match Week 22. And Francesco, let the people know what to do.
Thank you for watching the Joe and Brian Show, the only show for the most discerning football fan. Only intelligent football fans watch the Joe and Brian Show. Like and subscribe.